Hey everyone, it's Hayes and it's Miraculous Monday, so it's time for another screaming session.
Good evening.
And today, as voted for by you, we will be doing Miracle Queen, the season 3 finale. So this whole video will be predominantly a Ladynoir screaming session, but will I fit in Adrianette in there somewhere? Yes, of course I will. And we're actually going to start with that because my Adrianette agenda knows no bounds. So we have Luca being the ultimate wingman before he knew that's what he wanted to be in life, knowing Marinette is still in love with Adrian right at the start of this episode. Which does beg the question why he starts dating her at the end of this episode. It's very odd. Then we move on to Adrian and Kagami, and this shot will never fail to make me laugh. Like Andre, just watching the two of them. Like, what was he gonna do after they kissed? Run to them with his car and force them to have ice cream? Speaking of which, after this episode aired, I may or may not, when I was extremely tired and very upset, have tweeted Thomas Astruc and demanded Adrian yeet Kagami into the Sen. Turns out, even before I had this YouTube channel, I've just always had violent tendencies as a direct result of this show.
I said that. It's true.
However, we all know Adrian didn't want to kiss Kagami, not because of my tweet, which would have been amazing if that was the reason why, but because he loved Ladybug and it didn't feel the same as when he kissed her. Although I don't know how he remembers, since Oblivio kiss didn't happen anymore technically and he doesn't remember the other kiss. At least we got some Adrian in this episode, who knew? But then Adrian runs to transform, and this isn't a love square thing, just an observation, but surely to God Andre sees him do this? No? Just me? And of course we can't not mention the Gabe Nath in this episode. I won't go on for too long about it since I know not all of you ship it, but these aggressed men. Someone needs to tell the pair of them to stop looking at Marinette and Natalie like this. Like, I do not blame Natalie one bit for not being able to move on from Daddy Aggressed. I wouldn't be able to move on either if a man kept looking at me like this. Okay, so finally, Ladynoir. Ladybug and Chat Noir are chilling in the Sen, having a terrible time because Ladybug has just revealed what she did to Master Fu, obviously unintentionally, and Chat Noir, best laddo in the show, he's totally there for her. This is why I like him so much. At no point has he ever really tried to take over Ladybug as a leader apart from in Reflectol, but that was, because the Miraculouses had been switched. He's always known that she was the better, more natural leader, and he just, he rolls with it. It's been that way since the start. But what's also been that way from the start is how much he believes in her, and he gives her the strength to go on when she's having a moment like this. Which is why season 4 right now is breaking my heart, besties. Comparing this scene to what happens in Rocketeer, solid no forever. And then Ladybug says you're always here for me. And when I rewatched this episode for the screaming session, I was just like, oh yeah, like the way you're not there for him at the minute. I love Marinette, you all know I do, but come on, don't make me cry. And then Cat Noir says, always, little bug. I realised at this point whilst rewatching this episode, I've never actually seen Miracle Queen in English up until now. I watched the season 3 finale in Ukrainian with the subtitles on, and I've watched it in French after that point. I never knew that in the English version he said little bug too, and I am living for it, but at the same time my heart can't take it. Swear to God, I want to scream. If he doesn't say it again, then you can bet I will passive-aggressively tweet Thomas Astruc again. So they make their way above ground and Master Fu tells them to stay united. I think he means just in the context of this fight, but in the larger season 4 context. Why am I putting myself through this much mental torture? And then Chat Noir says it's us against the world, and Ladybug follows up with, as always. And then he says Ladybug and I don't fight each other. Thomas Astruc doesn't want peace, he wants problems. They worked really well together in this episode. It was amazing to see some great teamwork before them. I really love when you get to see them fight together like that. In Wishmaker, when they're just like completely in sync with each other, it's great. So for the final part, of course, we're going back to Adrianette, and swear to God, every single time I've seen this scene, I have always wanted to know what Adrian and Marinette said to each other. It looked like a normal conversation for once. Like, please, someone, anyone, what did they say to each other?
What are they saying?
So now let's look at the fan art for this week. We have 4 amazing pieces from Nath Arts on Instagram. So we have Daddy Aggress just using the Peacock Miraculous, what we're going to call him, like Feather Daddy. That sounds weird. And we also have Adrian fusing the Fox and Ladybug Miraculouses together. We then have Alia with the Fox and Horse Miraculouses. I really love the details on this one, but my favourite is Adrian fusing the Tiger and Cat Miraculouses together. He is so adorable. The final piece is from Muki Poston. Did I say that right? I am so sorry, bestie. And it's of me using the Bee Miraculous. You know, when I started making videos about Miraculous Ladybug, I never thought anyone would ever send me fan art, let alone fan art of me. Like, I nearly cried when I saw this. Is that a bit too much of a reaction? Yeah, probably, but when do I do anything by half for this show? That felt like kind of a short screaming session, sorry about that. Honestly, I was a bit confused why you all requested this episode. In my opinion, there wasn't really that much Ladynoir interaction in this episode, but what we got was very, very cute. The poll for next week will be up tomorrow, and I'll also list below in the description box the episodes we've already done for screaming sessions, so you don't request any repeats. Let me know what you liked about the Ladynoir, and of course the Adrianettes in Miracle Queen, and I'll see you all in the next one.